I am Donald McIntyre, Senior Editor at the ETC Cooperative. This is the ETC Ecosystem Spotlight, and today we're going to talk to Seth McCormack of ETCMC. Hello, Seth. How are you?
Hi, Donald. I'm good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. It's amazing to see you, and I think that the work that you're doing is great. And I think that hardware nodes are a very important part of any blockchain and of ETC as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you several things. One of which is how to set it up when you receive the node, etc. for users. But first, can you tell me about your background?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. So my youth was spent, sort of my earlier years was spent in the military. I spent quite a long time in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Then
In
once I left,
Scotland, in the UK, in Britain, in Scotland.
yeah, in the British Army, yeah.
Okay.
So I was in the British Army throughout sort of my teenage years up until my mid-20s. Then when I came out of the military, I moved into sales and marketing, and I sort of worked my way up through a sales and marketing company.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for a long time, and then through that, I ended up setting up a business in renewable energy and sort of dealing with huge contracts with like British Gas and companies like that. And that's how I ended up moving up to Scotland. So I'm actually from England originally, but
Mm-hmm.
I stay in Scotland now. So
Okay.
that's sort of my day job per se, but that kind of runs on its own at the moment. So I'm kind of concentrating more on the project, and it takes up a lot of my time, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Yes. Yeah, you are very active on social media. You have done well, now I understand because you were in marketing and sales, because the marketing of the product is very good as well. And all the
Yeah.
social media effort is excellent, and the support as well. Yesterday, I wrote the first part of this article, which is ETC Ecosystem Spotlight ETCMC, an Ethereum Classic plug and play node. And I actually got the product, I set it up, etc. And everything, the branding, everything is great. But my question is, if the other part of your life, your business is related to renewable energy and services to oil companies, where is your background in hardware, for example, in software?
All right. So I'm kind of self-taught. So I spent a lot of time in between work and things learning, teaching myself Python and different codes. And I actually did quite a lot of work for a few game companies on the side. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually did some work with Ubisoft. I actually was flown out to Canada a couple of times. Worked on a few games with Ubisoft. I did some work on Far Cry 5. So it's more of a side thing. It's something I've always been highly interested in. Um, and something I've got better at over the years. But yeah, so I don't have any sort of degree or anything like that in it. I'm just more of a
You just
hobbyist
learned it.
sort of coder. Yeah,
You just learned it on the go.
yeah, that's correct.
But you have a technical background because you learned it.
Yeah.
And where are you based in Scotland?
So in Scotland, I'm in right in the centre. So I don't know if you know Ayr or you've heard of Ayr. It's
No.
sort of maybe 30 minutes. I'm in a small village right in the centre of Scotland.
How do you spell
Um,
the name of the village?
it's Muirkirk, so it's Muirkirk.
Rkirk.
Yeah,
Newkirk.
yeah, Muirkirk.
I am Donald McIntyre. So my great grandfather was Scottish. Then he moved to England. He married an English woman, and then his kids were English. And my father is English, but I was
Yeah.
born in Argentina. And I have family in Lockerbie in
Oh
Scotland.
yeah, I know Lockerbie very well. Yeah.
But I've never been. I went to England several times. I've never been to Scotland. I have to go. I would love to go.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the product. So I wanted to see if you could describe it. What is the ETCMC Ethereum Classic plug and play node, the hardware node, that specific product?
Okay. So the idea for the product came to me when I actually started mining Ethereum Classic in 2017.
Okay.
So I've been a passionate miner throughout the whole sort of time from 2017 right up until now. I actually started with Ethereum, and then I moved on to Ethereum Classic once I learned about it being the true original Ethereum, as we all do, as we all come to Ethereum Classic. That's what we realize. But I did back then try to set up my own node, and I found that the process really tedious, and you know you had to download this, then install this, and run this with this, and I thought this really needs to be simplified, because when I looked at how many nodes were on Ethereum Classic compared to, say, Ethereum or Bitcoin, we are really, really low. I think there was only maybe 350, 60 when I looked. So I was like, wow, that is low.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought if I know it's been done by other blockchains, they've got their own sort of plug and play nodes that you can get. There's
Mm-hmm.
Flux that have the Flux node and things like that. So I thought if we can get something together that's really simple to use, and we can get that out to the masses, we can increase the decentralization and security of Ethereum Classic. So that was the overall goal
Okay.
of the product. Yeah. So it was basically to make it as simple as possible for new people that aren't maybe so clued up on computers and things like that, to be able to still contribute to Ethereum Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you know, it's one of the best ways that you can contribute, other than just holding the coin.
Yeah.
So that was
Holding the
the
coin,
idea.
holding the coin, running a node, or mining, those three things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
the
do
one.
the
Yeah.
three. You have two versions of, I don't know if to call it two versions of the product. When a ETCMC has more than just the hardware node, no? You have the ETCMC DAO and the ETCPOW token, but I'm going to ask you about later. But with respect to the node, I bought the higher. You have like two versions. One is just to buy the computer. That is a truly plug and play node. It's incredible because you just plug it in and it starts running the node. It's amazing. So it's true plug and play for everybody. It's extremely easy. But I got the higher, which comes with the higher version, which comes with a screen and also a keyboard.
Yeah.
So you can actually use the node as another computer.
Yeah.
That's needed for me at least several more steps, because I'm not a technical person, etc. So can you tell me the logic, the rationale for having those two levels?
Yeah. So the idea is, some people might not want a node to take over their home PC, for example, because it can take up a lot of CPU. Well, not a lot, but it can take up CPU usage and storage on your computer.
Yeah.
So the idea is to have a system separate, so we can have the node, so it can just run off your own PC screen, so you can flip between the two. Or, for example, you can have it so if you don't have a PC, for example, you can have a full package where you can run the whole node and just sit it on the corner of your desk, and it doesn't take up much room.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. But I have a Mac. I wouldn't be able to operate it with a Mac.
You could possibly use the screen of the Mac if it has HDMI, but the sort of idea, you've got the full package, so it's its own self-contained little
Yes.
unit that you can just sit and leave it running,
Yeah.
rather than having to plug it into your main computer screen or take over your actual computer.
Yes.
So yeah, that was the idea behind it. So we do just the node on itself. So that's quite handy if people don't want to fork out for the extra screen and things like that. And then we have the full package where it's its own sort of self-contained node that you could put it in your garage, or whatever, put it in your shed.
Yeah, totally self-contained.
Yeah.
If somebody buys just the hardware node, what interface would they do use to activate, deactivate, to choose light node, full node, to start?
So you could plug that into a TV screen,
Yes.
a PC monitor, a laptop. You could use the laptop monitor. It just needs a screen to set it up. And once it's set up and running, that you can then unplug it and just leave it running. So it doesn't have to be connected to a screen to run, if that makes sense. Once it's set up and running, you can unplug it out of your TV or wherever.
Yeah, the screen or the screen and the keyboard are really to select options. No, for example, I selected full node, so that's the node that I'm running now with ETCMC, and I also started. I set it up to start mining. I am setting it up to start mining ETCPOW. I have to put my ETC address. So does it have an access through a URL? For example, I have it in my own router where my computer also has access. Can I use my browser to access the node?
Yeah.
Okay, so people can install the node, and you have your computer in Wi-Fi in the same Wi-Fi router. And what do you remember what URL you have to type?
So when you're running the node,
yes,
if you click, there's an option on the side which will say show node data. You click that and it'll bring up the node's URL and all the data. So it'll bring up what chain ID you're on. It'll bring up the whole enode URL, and it'll also bring up all the information about the node that you can use to connect to the node.
Okay.
So it's quite. You can also use that to track your node on the Block Explorer as well. So you'll see that your node shows up on the Block Explorer, and it'll also show the IP address and all the information like that as well.
Okay, so there's a button that is node data, and I can go there, and it's gonna show me the URL.
Yeah, it'll select and whatever node you're running. So if you're running a full node, that'll be different than say a fast node. So it will show the information for whatever current node is running, if that makes sense. So if you then switch to a fast node, it'll change and it'll show the data for that node. Yeah. Because each node is a different instance.
And they have a different IP each, or a different URL each?
Yeah, so they'll have a different node URL, each node.
Right. So now that you spoke about that, can you tell us the difference between the full node and the fast node?
So so a full node basically takes a lot longer to sync because it's storing all the previous transactions that have occurred since the dawn of Ethereum. Whereas a fast node, from what I understand, it syncs a lot quicker, but it sort of syncs at checkpoints, and it doesn't sync the entire blockchain. So it uses up a lot less data and syncs quicker. But once it catches up, you can use it just the way you would any other node. You can connect your wallet to it and send transactions through it and things like that. It's good for if you want to quickly test an app. So you just sync up a quick fast node, and then that's your way. You can connect to it and do all your tests on it. A full node is great for it'd be like for exchanges that need access to the entire to people that need that kind of thing.
Exchanges or block explorers or analysts who need to look at the data, etc. So then the fast node is equivalent to the light node. It's the setting that comes with Core Get. It's not that you create okay.
No, that's just it's actually a feature of Core Get.
Okay. Core Get has two modes. One is full node. But now there's three. Archival node that keeps all the data, all the transactions in the original form without modifying the text or anything. Then you have the full node that is a more pruned version, and then you have the light node. So light node is what is called here in ETCMC, the fast node. Very good. Excellent. Okay, so people can buy just the little box and use their computer to access it using a URL, or you connecting it to another screen or something like that. Or users like me that I did that, I can buy the box plus the screen plus keyboard and have it. It's all self-contained, etc. And you can run a full node, a fast node. And then there's a third option that I can mine ETCPOW tokens. So I wanted to ask you. Then the next two questions are: first, what is the ETCMC DAO? Let's start with that, and then I'm going to ask you what is the ETCPOW token. Let's start with the DAO.
So the ETCMC DAO is a community DAO, so it's run and owned by the ETCMC community, and the idea behind it is it's kind of a self-sustaining ecosystem. So everything that the project produces, from node sales to software sales to store sales to membership fees, we're launching a mining pool next month, sorry, the mining farm. So all of that revenue goes into the DAO, and then that from the DAO it's split. So 35% goes back to members of the DAO, 30% goes to future funding for projects on ETC to help build projects up, and 35% goes to reinvesting into the DAO for development costs and website costs, just basic maintenance costs of running the project.
Okay, so the ETCMC DAO, is it a smart contract on Ethereum Classic?
Yeah, so it's under construction still, so we're still quite early with it. So at the moment, we're using the multi-sig, the Catacomb wallet.
Okay, yeah.
So we're using a multi-sig wallet, and what we're going to do is we'll have all the smart contracts should be in place pretty soon. We're just getting them tested, but the actual DAO is not a smart contract per se. At the moment, it's just a multi-sig wallet that stores all the funds that come in. And each month, funds from the multi-sig are moved so you've got the project funding wallet where funds will go. You've got the dev wallet where funds will go, and then you've got the members wallet where funds will go. And then from the members wallet, it's distributed to the members each month, and so on. So it's kind of, sorry?
That's how it's now. That's how it's now.
Yeah, that's how it is now. Yeah.
In the future, it's going to be a DAO that is going to be receive revenues from different revenue sources, and it's going to automatically pay that to the members of the DAO.
Yeah, the absolute aim of it is to get it completely fully automated, because it's less work for me, because at the moment it's a lot of manual work involved. So yeah, the aim is to get it as automated as possible. The DAO's only been running, I think this is the second month that it's been open and running, so there's still quite a lot of development work going on with a lot of aspects of the DAO. So the project's really quite new, as in the node came first. That's where I spent most of the time, was designing the software and building the node. And we just kind of opened up the DAO 2 months ago, and the project's kind of took off from there. So we've been really doing really well and successful, and we've built a nice community around it. We've got a big community going, and a lot of miners are excited for the opening of the ETCMC mining pool.
Yes.
So that's the thing that excites me a lot. Is I'm a miner at heart, so I'm excited to get that open next month.
But this is amazing. Wait, entonces I started to think about ETCMC as a node. Hardware, as a hardware node that you plug and play, and you start running a node, and you can connect your wallet and things like that. And as a user, everything is much more secure, and you verify the transactions and send transactions by yourself without depending on third parties, etc. Then there is a DAO, and this DAO is really under construction today. What you call the DAO today is really a manual setup where you have a multi-sig that receives revenues, and you turn around and you give it to members. I'm going to ask you about the members and the ETCPOW token in a minute. But then, so aside from the sales of the hardware revenues, you're going to add another business, which is the mining pool. There's going to be a mining ETC. And this is for mining ETC specifically?
Yes, so the mining pool will be ETC specific to start with. Then we might add in other algorithms later on, but at the moment it's under construction as just for ETC. But But a lot of miners do like to dual mine ETC and ZIL because it gives a bit of extra revenue. So the idea with the mining pool is, obviously, you know how much terahash is out there right now mining ETC.
Yes.
Is we want to attract as much as that as we can to the ETCMC pool, because ultimately, by mining in our pool instead of a centralized pool, you're going to help fund Ethereum Classic projects on Ethereum Classic. So it's a good way to sort of put back into the community by using a community pool, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. And the DAO is more as like a community membership kind of thing. It's like a club, or And what are the sources of revenue? The sales of the nodes is one, and the pool is going to be another one. Is there another one?
Yeah, so there's going to be a mining farm as well. So we'll have I've already got lots of miners myself that are using to mine. So we'll be using funds as well to construct and build up the mining farm. So the mining farm will use the ETCMC pool as well, and all revenue generated will go into the DAO. So all the ETC that's mined plus all the fees from the ETCMC pool, they'll all go into the ETCMC DAO.
Very good. So 3 sources of revenue: the sales of the node, the mining rewards of the ETC farm, which is a data center with miners that is going to mine ETC, and the mining pool fees all go into the DAO. And from there, you said that it's going to be distributed 35%, 30%, and 35%. Can you repeat again the first 35% to who?
Yeah, so it's 35% goes to the development wallet for developing the project. 30% goes to a project funding wallet that's used to fund up and coming projects on ETC that might need help.
This is like a grant system.
Yeah, so similar. Yeah, they'll need to put a proposal to the DAO, and then all the members will vote on that proposal whether it should get funded or not. So that's the idea, and then 35% will goes and gets shared out to the members of the community, which then encourages them to help build up the DAO.
What was that last thing? To build up the DAO? How to build up the DAO?
Yeah, so because a lot of people don't get involved in DAOs, they don't get involved with votes or things like that. So this way, they actually they benefit from decisions that are made because they get a percent shared between the members each month. So it's a way to incentivize them to get involved with a project, and
so the projects the DAO is going to invest in projects, and those projects are going to be giving tokens as well to the DAO. So users are going to get tokens. So that is what you say, that is going to incentivize people to participate and vote and things like that.
So what I've noticed from my research is a lot of DAOs, people just don't really participate in the votes. They maybe only get a couple of votes, and it doesn't really do much. And it's more, well, the centralized sort of owners end up taking the decision themselves because there's not many people participating. So the idea is to try and get as many people to get engaged, and we're doing really well with that. We've got a really vibrant community, and it's going really well. So yeah, I'm really happy with it.
I can see it's a big community. I did not know that all of this complexity and how I thought it was a community around the node.
No, there's much more to it. Yeah.
I saw the token and the DAO, and I didn't know what they were for, and now I know, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
But and the third segment, the 35%, the last 35% goes to members. It's like dividends to members.
Yeah.
Okay. And so my last question, no, it's not my last question, but the next question is, what is the ETCPOW token? Is that the token of the DAO?
So yeah, so the ETCPOW token is obviously, it stands for Ethereum Classic Proof of Work, and it's used throughout the ETCMC ecosystem as a reward for providing work to ETCMC. So, for example, if you put your hash power in the ETCMC pool, as well as being, obviously you'll mine ETC, but on top of that, depending on how much hash power you send to the pool, you'll also be rewarded with ETCPOW token. Same goes for node operators. So node operators will receive, for every transaction recorded, they'll receive a small portion of ETCPOW token. So at the moment, the rewards is 0.02 ETCPOW per transaction recorded on the node. So its main usage is to encourage people to provide work to ETCMC. So that's sort of the basis of the thing, but then it's used throughout ETCMC. So it's used for, we're going to start accepting it to buy mining equipment. So node purchases, you'll be able to purchase memberships with the token. You'll be able to do all the usual stuff, like we'll enable staking of the token, although they call it staking, but it's more just locking it in a contract and rewarding and giving out rewards. So there's lots planned for the token, and it's basically just a token for the ETCMC ecosystem, and it's used as a reward for providing work to ETCMC.
Good. ETCMC. So I saw that I just have to put my ETC address, and I'm going to start earning ETCPOW, the token, for running a node. And you say that it's when transactions are processed, but which transactions? My transactions, or processing and receiving transactions from the network in general?
Yeah, so from the network in general. So obviously, the busier the network is, the more transactions that are going on, the more you'll earn. So
well, there's two things that the nodes do. One is to receive and redistribute transactions for full replication of each transaction. And also blocks, no? Each time there's a new block, they receive and distribute blocks. Are you planning to reward also for verifying blocks, for example?
Yeah, so every single transaction that's imported onto your node, you'll see that your ETC balance will increase by 0.02.
Okay.
So every transaction that's recorded on your node is rewarded. So it incentivizes people to keep the node running, because so the longer your node is up, the more you're going to get rewarded each month.
Okay, yeah. So you, verifying a block and redistributing a block, you take it as another transaction.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So the ETC DAO, the ETCPOW token, with ETCPOW token, then people are going to be able to vote for projects and vote for future upgrades and things like that. The classical functions in a DAO, and also according to your proportion in ETCPOW tokens, I'm going to receive revenues from the business.
Yeah,
it is interesting. It's the first time that I hear of a real business, with a parallel DAO on the blockchain, and that the revenues go to the DAO. I think one of the promises of DAOs is that they're going to replace, and this is actually something that I teach in my course, blockchain course and Ethereum Classic course, is that they're going to replace where the registry of corporations is. And one important VC in Silicon Valley, that I don't remember his name, that he's into Bitcoin, etc. He's one of the main VCs who's into Bitcoin, not Ethereum and all that. He's onto Bitcoin. Is that he believes that corporations on blockchains, programmable blockchains, are going to receive their revenues, and like you said, you have to process them manually, but the smart contract is going to process everything, the accounting, and give each employee and each shareholder their revenues or their salaries or their contract payments or their dividends and stuff like that. So everything's going to be automated.
Yeah, that's kind of the plan. Yeah, that's the plan that we want to achieve, is get it into a position where it's a completely functioning business and it's all automated. So yeah, that's really, really interesting, and that's only been made possible with this technology that we've got now. So it's really exciting times. Yeah,
it's amazing that you have experience as a miner of years, and that you are applying your business, expertise. You have your own business in the oil industry, etc., and that you are applying everything on the blockchain and specifically on ETC. Why did you? Can you tell me Because you said that you started in Ethereum and then migrated to ETC, and you said because it's your original chain, but can you tell me a more elaborate explanation of why ETC?
Yeah, so yeah, I missed out on Bitcoin. I almost started mining Bitcoin. I was very, very close, but my brother at the time told me that it was a scam. So I missed out on that. But luckily Ethereum came around and I got in quite early with mining Ethereum. Um, and did quite well at the start. Sorry. But after the whole DAO incident and the DAO hack and everything like that, it did sit wrong with me about the whole, well, it's not decentralized at all. It's, you know, and then I seen that the Ethereum Classic was still the original chain, and I wasn't following the whole inside thing. I wasn't privy to that. I was just an outside miner. But then I started to do research on it. I started to research Ethereum Classic. And I thought, well, I'm switching over, and I switched all my machines to mining Ethereum Classic and never went back to Ethereum. So, and then throughout the years, I totally agree with the principles. I love the fact that it's decentralized, that there's no, we don't have, a Vitalik or a Charles Hoskinson. We don't have that kind of thing. And the fact that there's no foundation controlling everything, and that it is a truly decentralized chain. And I think it's unique in that, apart from obviously Bitcoin. And I say a lot that I see the word decentralized get so overused throughout the cryptocurrency space. It's just completely been watered down. Every proof of stake chain that comes out says that they're decentralized, and it doesn't resemble decentralized in any form. It's just amazing that they get away with it.
I agree.
So that's how I got into Ethereum Classic. And then I've been quite active in the community. I completely came off social media about 2 years ago. I just had enough of social media in general. I came off it, but then I came back, and I'd seen from when I left social media, I'd seen Ethereum Classic now had NFTs going. It had a radio station. People were starting to build on it. I was like, wow, this is great. And that was kind of sort of last year. I really started getting back into the social media side of things, and that's when I sort of came up with the idea. But yeah, I love Ethereum Classic. I think it's the best chain. One of the only truly decentralized chains out there. So
that's excellent. That's excellent that you have that mentality. And indeed, it's proof of work that makes it decentralized.
Yeah,
proof of work, and the fact that there's many nodes verifying. The balance of power between the miners and the verifiers is the decentralization. It's at the heart of the decentralization, and that's so you're working on both sides, nodes and excellent. But and then my last question is, how many nodes are there running on ETC?
So ETCMC nodes, the last check on the Block Explorer was showing, I think, around 55 nodes. But to my calculations, there should be over 70, because that's what we've sold, including softwares and things like that. So I would say, well, if you went off the Block Explorer, it'd be around 55, but I think it's probably more around the 70 mark that we've got running on ETC.
Very good. Excellent. Well, congratulations, Seth, for the project ETCMC. I'm impressed. That is much more than what I thought. I thought it was only a hardware node that was an Ethereum Classic plug and play node, and it really works very well. So I because I'm a user and I bought it and I activated it and it's working fine. But it's much more than that, no? It's a DAO that's like a holding organization, and we can all be members there. And below it, one revenue line is the sales of the nodes, then the mining pool, and then the mining farm, no? Does this mean that the purchase that I did, those you transformed that into, I paid it in dollars, and you maybe got it in British pounds, and you transformed that into ETC, and you sent that to the multi-sig wallet.
Yeah.
So
So
for
it gets
now,
converted. Yeah. So it gets converted into ETC and sent to the DAO. We do accept crypto for payments as well, but we just need to get that set up on the website. Obviously, you know, legal issues and things like that. We've got to make sure we do it correctly. That accepting crypto can be a touchy subject. So that's sort of the next battle for us, is to be able to do it through the website, is to be able to accept crypto payments. That way, it can just automatically the profits can go straight into the DAO.
Yeah, so people can pay in ETC, for example, directly.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I don't have any more questions. Thank you so much. I think it's excellent, the project. Congratulations again. And thank you so much for your time, Seth.
No worries. It's been great talking with you, Donald.
All right. Goodbye.
See ya.